Jillian Mahen here for BTN.com alongside John Crispin, and we are giving our Big Ten mid-season report cards for the East. So let's start with Indiana, because what the heck is going on with Indiana? They are sitting at 12-6, 10th in the Big Ten. I think if you were going back to the beginning of the season, nobody would have predicted this. So what does your mid-season report card say for the Hoosiers?
Well, I think there's a lot of satisfactories because the team has such a high ceiling, but there's a lot of things that they're not doing well. And so many people focus on the defense. I don't think it's defensive related. I think it's more about finding identity in your offense. And you see Thomas Bryant kind of floating around the perimeter just far too often. He's not as aggressive as he normally is, and the ball tends to stick when it gets into his hands. I think they've got to find more ball movers. And the issue without Yogi Ferrell was going to be who's going to be the point guard. Well, I think it could very well be Juwan Morgan going down the stretch. That's what we saw last season, and I think Tom Crean has a lot of confidence in him with the ball in his hands. The problem is if that offense doesn't get going, the defense really struggles. And it starts with the offense first. And for a lot of people watching these games, they can't make sense of that. You look at the defensive issues and you say, well, we got to get stops if we want to get out and get running. Well, the tempo and pace with which they play changes the way an opposing offense attacks you. So it starts with the offense for them. They've got to find somebody to get them into the rhythm and the flow of their offense.
Another issue that seems to be plaguing them a little bit that hasn't in years past, I mean, Assembly Hall's a great place to play, but they're really struggling on the road. As a team, how do you overcome something like that?
Fast starts. You got to start fast, and that's something that they haven't been doing. They do it well at home usually, and they did it well against Illinois. They came out flying, fast start, they did fine. But you've got to be able to start fast and play for 40 minutes. When they do, they beat Kansas. They beat North Carolina. That's the type of team, that's the potential that they have. But when they don't get started fast, they really struggle and they suffer. And then all the questions come forward with, is this team really any good? Well, yes, they are. They've got the highest ceiling in the Big Ten. I'm telling you that right now. They've got the highest ceiling of anybody in the Big Ten. But they've got to realize that by playing up to their potential.
Real quick, do you think there is a confidence issue here at all with them?
No, I don't think it's confidence. I think it's more execution.
All right, John, thank you so much. For more Indiana news, highlights, and analysis, head to btn.com/Hoosiers.